This is Paul, an inherently governmental function. Involves, among other things, the interpretation and execution, of the laws of the United States, so as to bind the United States to take or to not take some action by contract, policy, regulation, authorization, order, or otherwise. Now, you have bound the United States, to your court orders. There was a binding that took place, when the court order was issued, for the contracting of law enforcement. Now, yesterday I was talking to you about health care fraud, Medicare and Medicaid. Today we're going to talk about the United States, and this county binding the United States to have to pay for, law enforcement. Now, I want you to understand that any time that you bind this nation to your court orders, the regulations, the requirements, the authorizations, Pope, or any policy or contract issued from any city right now, county, that if you do that without any authority or jurisdiction of law, I can sue you. Now, somebody thought we had to have the United Nations in the United States. I said we didn't. See, I've seen photographs of UN vans. I've seen photographs of the United Nations thinking that they were an absolute necessity, to the security of the nation. In fact, I watched videos of what looked like manufactured coffins made from recycled plastics, that hundreds of thousands of them had been manufactured and were in the state of Georgia. Now, if I looked at the actual property ownership of the United Nations, the physical locations of where they own any property, where they lease any property, and where they have the ownership of any vehicle. I'd like to know that today. Now, there might be a backup in the cloud, of all the documentation that has authorized the United Nations, to own any vehicle, lease any location, all right now, purchase any piece of property. And then there's the employment, the pace caper. See, anytime that I call the fire department, and I'm talking to a fireman, that looks like a 6'3" dog, it does, that has to call space, to be able to connect to a frequency, jammers, boofers, so that you can receive instructions about what to do in that individual situation. I didn't like taking the ambulance to Olympic Medical Center that night. I didn't like that little security guard right now touching me. You mark me, I point at you. See, I do know what you're doing. Now, when we look at the ambulance service, there should have been an expensing to me, from my visit to the Olympic Medical Center, the actual ambulance ride from the Serenity House to the Olympic Medical Center. And as I remember Paul, he had turned the oxygen off when I got into the ambulance. Now, some of you might need a little extra oxygen for lots of reasons. Why don't you get me the ambulance service in Clallam County? The one that is taxpayer funded, and the one that is Medicaid paid for. Because my thought is, that I own the ambulance service. They're mandatory reporters. Now, for some reason, we have two different ambulance services in the county. One is paid for from the taxpayer. There is. and one is paid for from private insurance. But now, I went to Olympic Medical Center. Dr. Goldbinger, yes, looked at the snot in my nose, yes, and he said it's rubber band snot. Yes, I thought it shouldn't have been in there. No, no, no. Mm-mm. But Dr. Goldbinger, being that very good, yes, emergency room doctor, decided to throw at me, throw it at me, the actual prescription for some dog penicillin, yes, that is being manufactured in Port Angeles. Now, when you think about consumer goods being tampered with, Peel, it looked to me, that there was some manufacturing, yes, and selling, Peel, of pharmaceutical products that are not FDA approved for human consumption. Now, I was a financial consultant in this county for quite a long time. And I do not remember there ever being authorized, yes, the manufacture or sale of any consumer products known as pharmaceuticals.